All right, good morning and welcome back. Today is our final new lesson before we go on to Christmas break. And today we're just kind of going to review what we learned about rotations, then kind of review the chapter a little bit. So there's no actual notes today. Instead, we're going to be working in Delta Math. So I will show you an example. There's 3 different types of problems you're going to have to do in Delta Math for today's assignment. Also, just to kind of keep you guys in the loop, on Friday, we're going to have a quiz in Delta Math over reflections, rotations, and translations, okay? It'll be the same as what we've done before, okay, in Delta Math. So same types of problems you can go through. Make sure you get that done. Now, it is not officially due until after Christmas break back in January. However, I strongly recommend just get it done now so you don't have to worry about it, okay? If I were you, I would do it before then, okay? It'll go live Thursday, so that way you could work on it Thursday if you want, and you could get it done either Thursday or Friday or anytime this weekend, but get it done before break so that way you don't have to worry about it, okay? I think it'll be fresher in your mind. It's a good idea. Just get it totally taken care of. So, anyway, today we are going to talk about how to do a rotation problem like this in Delta Math. We're rotating the figure about the origin. Now, notice it says guided, so you're going to have to go through step by step. You can't skip ahead. You got to follow the instructions. So it says draw a circle centered at the center of the rotation. Draw a circle centered at the center of rotation, which in our case, it is clockwise about the origin. So the origin is right here. I'll click on that. And it says such that one of the vertices of the figure is on the circle. So we have to have the circle go through one of these. Now, we aren't just, if I click over there, that doesn't work. Okay, it tells me the circle's not right. I have to click on the yellow dot and then just drag out, and I could have it go through that point, that point, that point. It doesn't matter which point as long as it goes through one of these vertices. So I let go. Okay, now it says click and drag to draw a line through the yellow center and the vertex on the circle. So I have to go through that point. I'm going to click there and drag and also rest on the origin and let go. And that line is established. Next, it says now draw a line through the yellow center that is perpendicular to the line that you just drew. So let's first find the slope of this line. It was up 1 over 6. So rise 1 over 6. Remember, if it's perpendicular, it's going to have the opposite reciprocal. So instead of rise 1 over 6, it could be like the reciprocal becomes 6 over 1, and the opposite would be negative 6 over 1. So I can start in the middle, click here, go down 6 over 1, and I let go. And as you can see, that forms 90-degree angles, so we are good. Now, the reason it wanted us to do this is now I have a nice grid. From here to here is 90, from here to here is 90, from here to here is 90, and from here to here is 90. So if I needed to rotate this now, all I have to do is click it and drag it, and I can leave it. That's 180, that's 90. I can figure out where I want to drag it, okay? So in our case, this is rotate the figure 90 degrees clockwise. So remember, the clock goes to the right. 90 degrees would be 1 turn. So I grab it here and I drag it till it's on there, and then I let go. Okay, now, if you want to see it, animate the rotation, it shows you what occurred. Now down here, the pre-image, those points were the original 4 points. We want to write what the image's points are. You have 2 options. You can just figure it out. So for example, negative 6, negative 7, that's this point. Well, now that point ended up here, so it'd be negative 7, positive 6. So if you wanted to, you could just type that in and solve it like that. Okay, the other option, remember this one, we were rotating it 90 degrees clockwise. If we think back to Monday's notes, clockwise 90 degrees, the x and y switched and the x became negative. So it was y negative x. So then if we look down here, negative 6 and the negative 7, they switch, so that negative 7 goes to the front. The negative 6 becomes the opposite. We negate it, which makes it positive 6. So if we do the same thing, the -4 would come to the front, -5 would switch to 5. If you didn't believe this, let's go to -4, 5, -4, 5, and you see there's a point right there. Okay. Likewise, the -1 would come to the front, and then we'd have a +6. And finally, -1 and +8. So let's quick check those. -1, 6, -1, 8. We did it correctly. Now, if you don't have this down, you might want to take a screenshot of this or write it down, pause the video and write it down. These 3 rules again. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and try our values. And it says you are correct. You may now press submit to get credit. So I submit it. All right. And then it shows the animation again if you want to see it. All right, let's do one more like this. Okay, so this time it says follow the guide instructions to rotate the figure 90 degrees counterclockwise. So counterclockwise, it's going to go the other way. It's still going to end up in this quadrant, quadrant 2. So first it says draw a circle the center of rotation, which we know is our origin, such that one of the vertices of the figure is on the circle. So I click here, and once again, just drag it, and let go when it's on the vertex, one of the corners. Okay, now it says click and drag it to draw a line through the yellow center and the vertex. So I click here, and then I go through the one that I just dragged to. Okay, we're done. Now we have to draw a perpendicular line. So once again, let's find the rise over run. Rise of 1, 2, 3, run of 2, so 3 over 2. The reciprocal of that would be 2/3. The opposite makes it negative. So from here, I click and go down to -2 over 3. And as you can see, I only went over 2. There, over 3. As you can see, it's on the circle, and also it clearly forms 90-degree angles there. So I let go, and I'm done. Now the final thing, it says rotate the figure 90 degrees counterclockwise. So we know counterclockwise is to the left. I click it and I drag it, and 90 degrees will be when that red dot gets on there. Okay. Now, once again, you can animate your rotation if you want to see it in action. Animate it again. All right. Now, to get these points, once again, we can either just find like 2, 3 became -3, 2, and we can put that. That is fine. That will work. The other option is thinking back 90 degrees counterclockwise right here. X and Y switch and the Y becomes negative. So if it was 4, 3, they switch and it becomes -3, 4, and then -6, 6. You can real quick check those. -3, 4. There's one. -6, 6. So we know we did it right. I'll go ahead and try our values. You are correct. You may now press submit to get credit. And we submit it. Okay, so you're going to have to do 3 of those. If you need help, please let me know. There's also going to be some questions where it asks us to identify a single rotation or reflection. So what would happen to get it? Notice it says which transformation would take figure A to figure B. So it starts here and it has to get to figure B. Now, we look here. A reflection over the line, 2 of them are reflections. Hopefully you can see this is clearly rotating. A reflection over the line y equals x would have ended up over here. Y equals -x would have ended up over here. Okay, this is a rotation, and it has to go 180 degrees. It says counterclockwise. It also could have gone clockwise. Counterclockwise would get us there. Clockwise would get us there. It doesn't actually matter. So we submit our answer, and we're done. Then the final type, similar. Once again, it says identify the transformation. So figure S is the result of the transformation on figure R. So it starts at R, R is the preimage, and it ends up on S. So this one, hopefully you can see, is rotating. If you turn your head, you see that it matches up. Okay, this would end up there, and it's 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, so 90 degrees clockwise. Now, just in case that wasn't a choice, it also could have gone counterclockwise, but it would have been 270. So all we have to do then is submit our answer, and we're good. So That's all for today. If you need any help, please let me know. Get this done, then get the quiz done either on Thursday or Friday. Have a great break, and I will see you guys in January.